You ever have a lot of sewing projects in line to be made? And then an intruder jumps in front of the line and says, "You have to make me first." That just happened to me. I'll show you the intruder coming up. And the intruder is this fabric. You're thinking, what? I love this fabric. It's a map. It's a panel. And I love the ships right here. And then the writing by the captain. It's a map of New Guinea, I believe. I don't know where New Guinea is. It says there's Ivory Coast, Guiana. Maybe it wasn't Guinea Basin. I don't know. But I love, you know what I love about this is it's so soft. I don't know, it just feels great. And the colors, I've been into these colors lately, and these are not my colors. But I wear them on the lower part, so I just have to switch the top part. But wow, this would make the coolest skirts. The pattern I have to use is the rosy pattern, which is these skirts back here, back there, and it's the pattern here. I'll put the pattern below for a link for it for you. And it's a square circle skirt, and you don't have to cut seams into it, so it doesn't interrupt this pattern. Although I've been having to lay this out, it's an odd shape. It's a very rectangle, and my pattern is kind of square. It's a little on the rectangle side, but I have to cut a big hole in it, and I want to make sure I get these ships in here. So I was mapping it out. That's what I was doing. To make sure I get the ships in there and all that. So I think this is going to work. It's really short on one side. I brought this fabric home thinking, okay, I need a contrast with this. I have a lot of silks at home in bins. And do you have a lot of fabric at home? You have a lot of fabric? Yeah, we all do. I found this fabric, so I was like, this looks oceany. And it looks so pretty with this. So make a yoke out of this and make a second layer. I'm going to put strips on a lining. I'm just going to I'm going to do a second layer with lining with ambiance lining, and then make strips of this because I don't have enough to do a whole layer. And that's how it's going to go. This fabric is called Radiance. It's half silk, half cotton. I bought this probably close to 10 years ago at Michael Levine's in downtown Los Angeles, and who's now closed. But they had a whole row of Radiance fabric, and I bought a bunch of different colors. From my students were doing some projects, some like evening gowns. They would sketch them and I would make them. And I used a lot of this, but this one I never used, but I just love this color. Oh my gosh, I should make a top out of this. This is good color. Yeah, I'm really excited. I want to do this. This one jumped ahead of the line. And I'm just going to whip this up, although there's a lot of parts to this. Okay, I'm going to get started. Cutting out the map fabric. I think I'm going to be cutting out the whole piece. I'm just going to make it extra long on the ends, because I can always cut it off. I usually hem this skirt before I put it together, but this time I'm going to put it together and see how it goes. I found my center. I'm actually going to cut it here, because I want these ships to show. Ships to show. I found my middle, do this in quarters. I think it'll be an easier cut. Put that there, it's the lengths. Okay, all right, ready to cut. Cut out my circle. There we go. And then while I'm here, I like to put a little V right here and a little slits right here. The slits tell me it's the side seam, and the V tells me it's the center front and center back. Okay, there we go. Have it cut. This part. There we go. Ta-da. Ivory Coast. Togo something. Guiana. Okay, now on to the second layer. And my second layer is this peacock green I have. Call it ocean blue. But this is how it's going to look with those colors. That's really pretty. I'm so excited. So I thought about doing here, instead of cutting the strips like these, that would join together like this to make a square. And actually I'm going to just chunk out a rectangle in the middle, and I'll be able to fit my yoke in here because that's all the fabric I have. And then using this square, cut lining out of the ambiance, which is real slick and will help this slide really well, and then cut the hole here in the lining. All I got to do is square that in, and then I don't have to have the seams running down the sides, and it cuts out another seam, and makes it go a little faster. I'm gonna cut it with pinking shears here because this fabric frays a lot, and then if I can prevent some of the fraying while I'm sewing, that just makes it easier. Okay, I have that cut out here, so now there is my piece, and then I have the pivot points marked here. Just mark them before I move this around. So then when I gotta sew in the square, those pivot points will really help. Okay, just move that to the side. Now I've got to cut this out of the lining before I cut this out. Okay, so I have 1 inch and 1 inch on this side. That, and then I'll do 1 inch on these sides. Make sure I get this accurate. Just use the cutting board for this, and hopefully this tears length grain. Yep. So that will be my rectangle. That one, then I'm going to find the half of this right here. Okay. Line this up on the table. Slit there and a V here. Okay. Now I'm just going to trace this. The V there. This up. Cut that out, and that'll be the lining. Okay, there's my lining here, and then this will get sewn around like that. There, and pivots in here, and then that will get into the yoke, and that is how that's going to look. Now to cut the yoke out of my rectangle piece, I'm just going to put it up, fold this in half, cut 2 at a time. It's pretty thin fabric. Make sure this is really accurate. Oh, I can't do it that way because it's on the nap. Oh boy. Got one in my to go down. Whenever there's a shine in a fabric, it usually has a nap to it. Just to be on the safe side, I like to make sure cut them in both directions. If you fold it over, you won't have that. Oh my gosh. Corduroys do that, velvets, some tussa silks or the silk shantungs will do that. And I gotta carefully cut it. All right, 2 yolks cut following the nap. I'm going to put some V's in the bottom yoke right here. I used to put V's up on the top, but then I found when I put the elastic I use just rolls over. If I go a little too deep, you can't, it kind of tears the fabric if I try to put it on my dress form. I have a dress form that's a little too big for me, and I just stretch it and then it rips. So I don't put V's there anymore. But I put the little center front and center back mark. And also the center front, I think I want to cut this down 1/2 inch a little bit because it kind of hikes up on me a little bit. So got this cut, now just got to sew all this together. Now to attach the lining to the second layer, I've put pivot points with the little marker on all the square sides of this, and then I've got my chalk marks here. I transferred some of them to the other side and did a little clip because that'll help bend it. And then I pin these and then put them right sides together, and then I just sew straight from the pivot point all the way, and I think this matches up really good. Yep, that's important because one side is actually longer than the other, so I have to make sure that I have this placed in there right. And then this one pivots over this, and then it goes to the next point here. Put my little mark there, and just a little clip, not quite to the circle. Sometimes you can go too deep. And I'll sew that. This one should fit here. All right. A lot of times I like to just sew these two seams first, then come back. Otherwise I have a bunch of pins all over the place. I'm gonna go sew that, and then I'll finish this up, and I should have a complete piece. Have the lining in there. That looks so weird. It went together really well. I didn't have to do it 2 steps. I just kind of thought, I'll try it. Go all the way around it. So it went really good. So there's my square, and I'll attach this to the yoke, and this slick lining will help that fabric be a little thinner at that spot at the hip level. And then I have to put this on top of that, baste it together, and I have to decide, I don't have to decide yet, which I want, the front or the back. I think I'm gonna put the brown in the back. I don't know. Just put it on there and twist it around. And then I have the yoke sewn, ready to go. And this fabric wrinkles a lot. Ugh. So I was gonna put a lining in here. I have this one lining that's real, how do you say, taut, but it wrinkles a bit. So I'm gonna use this cotton. It's like a cotton sateen. It's got a little bit of lycra in it. And I think it'll wear a little bit better than the lining. So I'm gonna have, this is the yoke lining and all these different colors in here. Look, turn this inside out and it will, wonder what it's gonna look like. Anyway, it'll be fun. All right, gonna cut this out, get it all put together so I can try this on. All right, I have the 2 layers pinned together. I got the yoke attached or pinned to the skirt layers. I'll sew that in 5/8 seam around here, and then I'll really be able to see how this looks. It's looking so cool. I love these colors together. It's so beautiful. It looks like ocean, you know. But usually I put a trim, some kind of trim between the yoke and the skirt, and not this time because, well, I am going to, but it's a trim I just bought, and you have to hand stitch it on or top stitch it very carefully on. I don't know how I'm gonna get it on, but I'll show it to you when I get this finished. Okay, have it stitched on. Oh my gosh, that's the back. And this is the front. I think that's how I'm gonna go. The sides. Interesting, this is the same, I added length to this. I just kind of thought I'll cut it later, but it's the same on, it's about this is about 1/2 inch longer than the lining. So I think I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna maybe do those the same length. So I'll cut off like 1/2 inch on the sides because I really want that print to show. So this is looking really beautiful. It's very oceanic. Whatever that's a word. Wow, this is so beautiful. Interesting, I just came back from a sewing retreat that was at the Maritime Center in Baltimore, and we went walking through there. They have airplane simulators and boat captain simulators, that kind of thing. So we walked around. There's a museum there, a maritime museum, and they had like ships in a bottle and all that. That would have been so fun to wear this there. I love to dress in themes. I also have a friend who just moved to the beach, and she's wants to take us sailing. They go sailing a lot, so that would be fun to do that too. Although I have some sailor skirts I'm going to be making soon. But this is the trim that I found. Well, I bought this at Hobby Lobby a while ago. It's got little buttons on it. And I was looking at it going, why do I like this for this? I guess because, you know, old ships had made of wood, teak and all. I guess teak, right? But that would be so pretty. But how am I going to get it on here? I think I can get a zipper foot next to that edge there, and then just let it kind of flap. Maybe anchor it down in a couple hand stitches there, but there's no way I can sew it in there. But that is going to be pretty. I think there's exactly enough to go around my hip part right there. But that, yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I can't wait to wear this. Oh my gosh, what a find. And then also I have to hem these. So I think I'm just going to do a simple hem. I just tucked this up a little bit because my front panel was really short. I also find this really interesting. This is the center front, and there's a line, because I could tell on the yoke, I can't get that little crease out. I don't know if you can see it. I hope not. But this fabric was folded up for so many years. It's got a permanent crease, and I just can't get it out. But there's a line that goes right here on the print, right in the center front, and also in the center back. Right there, this line. I don't know how I got that, like right there in the center, because it was just a panel with a print. I don't know, it's so wild. But this is looking so good. I think I'm gonna baste the lining in, try it on real quick, and then I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll come back and hem this all and figure out that trim part tomorrow. All right, looking good. Okay, back today to finish my skirt. I can't wait to wear this. So right now I have to do the hem, and I pressed up the turquoise layer here, and I have the front layer is just the selvage right here, and I just rolling it up 1/2 inch, and then the sides I'm doing a double roll right here, and I'll stitch that, and I have the perfect colored thread on that. And the sides, it's interesting because this skirt, where I have the side seam, this is the first time I've done this on this skirt, is I have the side seams the same length right here, and then just the front right here is sticking out longer, so it drapes like down, and it's interesting. I like it. Little different variation. I usually always have it like balanced out, like sticking out here, and it's just like a whole second layer, but now it looks like it's just in the front. It's a little different. Always trying to see how many different ways I can do this skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then my hem on the front, I have the perfect thread color for this top layer. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it, because that's an odd color. What color is it? Like a gray blue. But I'm just going to do, I just have it rolled over because I lost a couple inches in this this skirt part because the panel was not that wide. So I don't want to lose any more. I just want to do a little bit. So I'm just going to find a little creative zigzag on here and match that. And then on the other side, it's all brown. So then I have to do this one, and the thread will show up a little bit more there. So on to just hemming the skirt. I have this hemmed. It came out really nice. I did a little zigzag on this one with the blue. The color's perfect, and then I've got the brown right there, and perfect colored thread on the bottom part. Gotta give this a press. This fabric really wrinkles. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be tough to keep clean or keep unwrinkled. Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the elastic now. I gotta put all that trim on here, but I think I want to just get the elastic on, get it all done, because the trim I'm going to hand stitch at home, and I just want to get this done. So my elastic, I put this around my waist, kind of give it a little pull, because I don't want this to just use like really elasticy in, because then it gets puckers on there. I just want it to kind of grip a little bit so it doesn't fall down while you're walking. But I put a center back seam here. This is that fold over elastic, the Dritz fold over elastic. I can put a link below. I don't have the card out here, but I have it on my website, and I love this stuff. I buy all the black, it seems like, because I just use this in all my waistbands. It's just makes this whole process so easy. Wow. But and then I fold it in half, and then I quarter it, and I put a little mark on there, and then I just go from the center back, pull a little bit to the side, and pull a little bit to the center front, and then I zigzag it as I go over, so this just sandwiches in. I have a whole video on this. I'll put a card up here. I did a whole video on how to really explain it, and I have the video at the sewing machine so you can really see it. But I love this stuff. It's changed everything for me. It just makes sewing easy, because I like to, when you get your skirts going and you want to just finish it, right? And then you want to wear it. So that's where I'm at right now. I can pop this on, and then I can get that trim on here. Here it is on the dress form. This looks really cool. There is my ships. They're on the sides, and then the back is all brown. It's a little tight on my dress form. Or it's a little, yeah. And wow, I love this part right here. This, I don't know. The front is right, kind of like, what is that? And then when you move, you start seeing these designs around here. So that looks pretty cool. So now I have to add this trim. I hope I have enough. That would be a bummer if I don't. Oh my gosh, I have to check this. Yeah, I do. Okay. Ooh, that would be bad. I think what I'm going to do is pin this all on here. I always like to kind of start. I'm going to start where this little design is different, and I'm just going to pin on this and get that seam up there, and then I'm going to take it home and stitch it all on, hand stitch it, and it won't really be that long. I don't think it'll take that long, but that's how this is going to work. Oop, dropping pins. I just have to pin it real carefully and not cut the end. I did that the other day. I cut the end of a binding off or something. I'm thinking, and I always give it several extra inches. And then by the time I sewed it on, it was really short, and I had to fix it. I'm like, it never happens to me. But this is how it's gonna look. I just love. I saw this button trim in Hobby Lobby, and I was like, so cute. What would you ever do with it? But just the wood buttons like this, it just, wow, I can't believe how this just pulls this all together. That is just going to be so cute. So that's a little bit of hand stitching to do, and then after I get that hand stitching done, I have to hand stitch the yoke. That's the inside to there, and then close it all. So there we have it. It's all done. I'll show you some pictures of this when I try it on. I've got to find, I have a couple turquoise tops, but I don't know if they're the right turquoise, and I always wear black tank tops in the summer, just like this. That's why they're always on my dress form. And if I could find a brown one, that would actually really look great. But I can't find brown anymore. I'm gonna have to order a brown knit and make my own tank top. I can do that. So, but wow, there is my nautical skirt. I love it. It's gonna be fun to wear. And I want to do a poll. Do you wear a lot of skirts? Have you made any skirts? Do you like to get creative with them? Because I love skirt art, because there's so much things you can do, creative things that you can put into a skirt, batiking the fabric, tie-dyeing it, bleach dyeing it, it just gives a great canvas to being creative. So tell me what creative things you've made. Are you a lover of skirts? So, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear a comment below, and give me a like if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you in the next video. And look at the fabric I found the other day at Fabric Place Basement. Another map fabric. What to make with this? I see a skirt. I think this would just be a great summer skirt with just this yoke and the skirt all in the same fabric. Trim it with some blue, fun cotton skirt with maps. I could even put little pinpoint dots in places I've been. That might be really fun. Stay tuned for that one this summer.